Hello, everybody. Welcome back to How Come. I don't know if you can hear my computer overheating, but this episode is hot, hot, hot. It is so interesting, and I think you guys are going to be like, holy shit, and you might have a lot of questions, and fortunately, our guest has been like, if you have any other questions or if your listeners have any other questions, I'll come back whenever you want. You can just write to me at How Come Podcast and I can ask him. But today we are talking to aerospace defense engineer turned rising adult film icon, John Legendary. And today he's going to be telling us all about the long misunderstood hot wife lifestyle and his freewheeling adventures as an in-demand, quote unquote, bull in other people's bedrooms. So you might have heard of cuckolding before. There are two different types, which John will break down for us. It's cuckolding and then stag vixen. So he'll tell us the difference between those and why he prefers to participate in one more than the other. There is some discussion of race play briefly, and also just a little talk about race in general. So if that feels like a conversation you don't want to participate in, you can skip over those parts. And if you have any questions about it or thoughts on it, please write into us. We're very, very curious about your thoughts on everything. But yeah, it's a really, really interesting episode, and I can't wait for you to hear it.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
I am sitting here with a legendary person. Welcome, John Legendary.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Just before we get started, what made you choose your name?
So when it was coming down to the point where I had to come up with a name for porn, the names I wanted to use, my lifestyle name, because I'm in the hot wife lifestyle, that name was already taken by a gay performer.
And is that different from your birth certificate name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have like two aliases now, and then my real name, so it's like 3 names.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can you tell us the other lifestyle name?
Yeah, it's Caleb King. So a lot
name.
of people in the lifestyle know me as Caleb King. And I guess it was like a gay performer's name in the industry, so I couldn't go with that name. So I had to come up with a new name. And so I was thinking about how some people say I resemble John Legend. And so, that was one thing. And then I had this crazy story that happened when I was in Colombia. I went to Colombia for Thanksgiving by myself. It was a solo trip. And I took this young lady on a date, okay? And she's Colombian. And she was so excited to be on a date with me. She thought I was John Legend. And I thought she was just joking. But then she started to like tear up and cry at the dinner table and talk about, oh my gosh, I dreamt about you. Like, I've been praying for this. I can't believe you're here. And so I had to excuse myself to go to the restroom just so I didn't laugh in this poor woman's face. And so after I collected myself, we went back and then we left. I told her I was going to give her a private concert back in my Airbnb.
Stop.
And so, I sang all of the songs. I gave her a
Can
great
you sing?
performance. No, I can't sing at all.
And at no point was she like...
Nah. And so that kind of stuck with me. And so that's kind of how I landed on the name John Legendary.
That's insane. Did she ever find out?
No, I never spoke with her again.
Is this ethical?
Yeah. I mean, after we had sex, she told me she's a witch. So, I had to cut it right there.
And was he already with Chrissy Teigen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So she thought he was cheating. So it was already like a little fucked up.
Yeah. But I guess I'm just used to like being the other guy,
That's true. Okay, so let's get into that because you mentioned the hot wife lifestyle and people might not have any idea what that is. Does that just apply to porn or is it a real lifestyle
No,
that you
it's
do
real
as well?
life.
Okay.
Yeah, like the hot wife lifestyle is real.
Mm-hmm.
The hot wife content and porn is not real. It's not even remotely close.
Is it a
You have,
category?
yes, cuckolding. You usually
Okay.
see cuckolding.
Okay. I don't watch a lot of porn. I'm bad at my job.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of porn either. Yeah, like cuckolding porn is completely different. It makes it gives a bad name for cucks. It's very like demeaning, and all cucks don't like humiliation and stuff like that.
Not
and
all
so
of them. Yeah.
yeah. So real cuckolding and hot wifing is really cool. I've been doing that for a while, and as a bull, and so the hot wife lifestyle is similar to swinging.
Mm-hmm.
But swinging is essentially couple swapping.
Yeah.
And hot wifing is wife sharing. And so you have two different dynamics within the hot wife lifestyle. You have the cuckolding dynamic and you have the stag and vixen dynamic.
Okay.
And the difference between the two, it's only a subtle difference really, is the who holds the sexual power exchange dynamic, meaning who gets to make the sexual decision making. Is it solely with the woman, the wife?
Mm-hmm.
If she sees John, she's talking to her husband like, damn, John looks good. Like, I want to fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
And then a cuckolding couple, the husband like, okay, whatever you need. Do you need me to shave your legs, help you prepare? Like, you need me to do like cigar service, whatever you need, I have you. Because I want you to enjoy this evening. Whereas the stag and vixen couple, if the wife sees me and she says, hubby, I want to fuck John. Mm-hmm. Husband like, oh, I don't know about him. Maybe we should pass on him. And then they have to pass. They share that decision making together.
Okay.
So that's the difference. But there's a lot of activities that are typically regarded as like cuck activities, such as like cleanup, chastity, humiliation.
And those are real things?
Those are real things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm trying, since I haven't seen it in porn, and maybe a bunch of our listeners haven't either. In porn, if somebody's being cucked, what is that person? They're usually in the room, and
they're usually in the room next to the person watching. Like, oh my gosh, like my wife is getting fucked by like this big black guy. So that's typically how you see it in porn. But in real life, it's let's say if it's a cuckold, he may be in chastity, occasion on his dick. And he's enjoying the show. He's I might do humiliation, where I got my dick against his, like next to it, like this is why your wife is fucking me and not you. But I'm pulling back the different psychological layers. I'm really understanding what he needs from this situation, as well as her. It's not about just her. It's about both of them.
You're there for both of them.
Yeah. But I might have him in the corner, writing something like, I won't touch my small dick anymore, or something like that, so it's a lot more involved. And so I enjoy cuckolding couples a lot more because, stag and vixen, the husband is essentially my wingman. Like, hey, come over, fuck my wife, a couple hours. She just want to be pounded. And that's not really my style,
Why?
Because it doesn't provide that much fulfillment to me. It is great being a part of a certain fantasy, but I do like to really take my time and have that level of buildup and anticipation and excitement, and I tend to get that more with cuckolding couples. Mm-hmm. I did have this situation where this wife, invited me over, and we never met. We met like online, and she and her husband was there, and she said, "Well, I want you to come over, and I have this fantasy. I'm gonna be blindfolded, and my husband's going to open the door, and you're just going to come in, and you're just going to fuck me, and then you're just going to leave, like no hanging out, no chilling." So I went over there. She was blindfolded, in a kneeling position, and husband was happy. He had his little camera out filming. And, I fucked the hell out of her. And then left, and I told him, I gave the husband a fist bump and said, "Y'all have a good evening," and that was it. So that was pretty cool. That was exciting.
Yeah.
But I like to hang out with cuckolding couples a lot more.
How do you make sure that like both of them are on board for everything? Because like my head went to, she reached out to you. She says, I'm going to be blindfolded. You're going to come in, do the thing. He has no idea. Like, how do you make sure that you're not entering into a situation like that? And also, do you talk about if you're cool with being filmed? Like, where do the consent talks come in?
Yeah. So I only deal with couples who have good relationships, good communication. Like, I can't be your the savior on your last straw. Don't bring me into the bedroom to try to save your marriage or your relationship.
It's a penis, not a magic wand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time really getting to know the couples and asking them a lot of probing questions, what brought you guys into this lifestyle? How long have you been into it? How do you both like to be treated and talked to? What are your wants? What are your darkest fantasies? And so I go really in depth is trying to get to know this couple, because that determines also my approach and me being able to identify is this a stag couple, stag and vixen, or a cuckolding couple. And then, that furthers allows me to go a little bit deeper. Yeah. And so it's, I've had some situations where, very early on in my life as a bull, where the wife wants to fuck me, and the husband would be inferior because I'm a black guy and my dick is bigger than his, in a very very good amount of reasons, where it's like he didn't even want to entertain the idea of me hanging out with his wife, because she showed him my profile on the site. And so, she took matters in her own hands and said, I want to still see him. She didn't tell him that, but she told me that.
Oh, okay.
So she went to see me. So, she saw me, we had fun. And then that's when I kind of learned about the ethics within the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Where it's as a bull, you want that husband to be fully knowledgeable about what's going on. You want that to be, because cuckolding and stuff like that, the lifestyle is supposed to be about love.
And it's so different. Like, if they don't know about it, then you're just a run of the mill, cheater, side piece, kind of thing. It's not the same. Yeah. Right. So that's why I have to go a little further and I also hold myself accountable and to a higher standard to make sure that, I'm respecting the marriage, respecting, the lifestyle and myself as well. Do you know, I don't know if there's an origin of the lifestyle, did it come from swinging, or have people been doing this for centuries?
I don't know about centuries, but they've been doing it for a very, very long time. So I know a lot of hot wives, couples that are swingers as well. But, I do know a lot of swingers who are not into sharing their wife. They're more into the full swap thing. But it's definitely a lot of elements to the hot wife lifestyle, such as QOS, which is Queen of Spades, and that essentially means that you only like black guys. You will only fuck black guys, and then you have.
But their husbands are or aren't?
They're not. Their husbands are white or whatever.
Okay.
And so you have I guess evolving, in the term evolving means is, she may start off 70% her husband and 30% black guys if she's a QoS. Okay. Where she's fucking her husband 70% of the time and black men 30% of the time.
Okay.
The idea, the goal.
So she does fuck her husband.
At first. If she's a QoS at first.
Okay.
But the goal is to, be
90-10?
Completely for real, 100-0,
Whoa.
99-1. I know some husbands who only get to fuck their wives on like New Year's Day, for the whole year. So yeah, it's an evolution, but everyone doesn't evolve to 100-0, but that's just extreme magnitude of how it can be.
Okay, and so since it is consensual, like the term evolution, like it would be beneficial to both of them?
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's so crazy that a lot of the husbands typically are the ones who try to introduce the idea of hotwifing and cuckolding to their wife. So it's something they're almost, excited about,
Yeah, they'd have to be.
Yeah. And then the woman, she embraces it. Some of them embrace it and really get into it. And then just have this huge affinity towards Black men. So it just escalates and gets a lot more rich.
Do you ever feel like fetishized because of
that? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
okay.
and I personally, I'm okay with being fetishized only in the bedroom, not outside the bedroom. Because we all have our fetishes and kinks. And I'm okay with being someone's kink within the confines of the bedroom, because it's sexual,
Yeah.
But outside of that, like in the real world, then, I'm not okay with that. Like, oh, I only, I don't know you, but since you're Black, I want to date you,
right.
Like that's more like, you really don't even know who I am. I wouldn't date you. I wouldn't try to have like something serious with someone who doesn't really care about getting to know me, but only wants to like deal with me because I'm Black. You could be with any Black guy, so that's kind of how I have the distinction between the two.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And like, how do you guys first get into communication?
We have these different sites. It's you got one called Cassidy. You have Lifestyle Lounge. You have SLS. Some people find people on Black to White. Then you also have FetLife. So there's different sites for people to connect. I primarily use Cassidy. I can't do too much these days because I'm in porn. I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
Because it requires just so much. As a guy, it requires so much.
Oh, wait. So are these dating sites?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know FetLife is.
Yeah, yes, it's similar.
Okay, so these aren't people that like are like big fans of yours.
No.
Got it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, these are regular soccer
people
moms.
who are looking out to date and hotwife and.
Yeah, these are like regular sites, like to connect with other people in the lifestyle.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say, you must have also DMs from people who know you from porn. And has that ever turned
I have that on Twitter, like Twitter, Instagram. I get like, husbands, that wants me to, fuck their wives and stuff like that. And I don't respond to those because, it's nothing there. It's just a waste of time on Twitter DMs. But if you find me on a site, then I'll be more open to that because I know for a fact that you're a real person. Most of the time, you're a real person. Because we have like certifications or validations, and so it's like reviews, so you can see the reviews of different people.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of allows you to screen better.
Yeah, and it's like the luck of the draw, like on a dating app. It's like, we happen to come across each other. Not that you've been watching my shit for years and you're stalking me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how it is.
Okay, cool. And how did you get into porn in the first place? And do you prefer to call it porn or adult content or?
To me, it's like I do it all.
Okay.
Like porn, adult content. So how I got into it was, being the hotwife lifestyle was like husbands are filming me and I'm comfortable.
Oh, you were already doing this pre-porn.
Yeah, like yeah. This was before
cool.
porn. Yeah, I've been doing this for years. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was doing this. My first experience I think was in grad school. And one of my law school buddies, had this young lady come over, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to see you later so you can do your thing. And he said, hold on 1 second. He calls this woman's husband and said, hey, my man's over here. Is it cool if he stays? And the husband says, yes, as long as you guys take pictures and videos. So we fucked the show's wife. We taking pictures, videos. We send it to him. He loves it, And then I'm asking my homeboy, like, yo, what did we just do?
Yeah.
And, and then that's when he told me about the lifestyle. And then I just got, more into it over the years and just being comfortable with husbands filming me fuck their wives. Because I'm an exhibitionist. I said, well, shit, I'm doing this for free. This is like my Saturday night hobby. I'm not getting paid for this, okay? Like, and now today when people find out I was doing it for free, they're like, oh, what? You can get paid for this shit. So I wasn't getting paid. It was just like my Saturday night hobby.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, well, shit, what if I could fuck, hot porn chicks and like get paid for that? Because these, women, I love all women of all ages, but, there a lot of them are like more mature, like 45 plus. Okay. And I'm like, well, I can fuck some hot chicks possibly and get paid for that. That sounds like a win situation. And so I just applied on online to an agency, and they signed me 2 weeks later.
Wow. That's unreal. So you were like 26-ish? I
was 26 when I was in grad school.
Okay. And then this is a little after that.
Oh yeah. I'm a lot older than 26.
No, I'm saying when you got signed.
Oh no, yeah. I got signed 2.5 years ago, so I was 37.
Oh wow. Okay, so you were doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like off and on. Like from my first experience, I took a long, like a nice little break before I got really into it. And then once I got into it, I really got into it. So it was like maybe about 6 years.
Okay.
That I've been doing it for real.
And was that like your first experience with group sex?
No. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I lost my virginity in a gangbang, unfortunately. I mean, it was
fortunately, girl, if it was fun.
It was cool. It was cool. But it's like, losing my virginity was not sentimental, or I didn't lose to anyone who was like a girlfriend or something like that. It was just like this girl where, me and two of my other buddies, all fucked, Yeah. And, it was like at 16 years old, it's like, as a guy who's been lying about having sex, and losing his virginity years ago, I was just so happy to get some pussy, And then went to school the next day like it was normal. Like, I just got a little something last night. Because I've been saying the same thing for a few years, But no one knew that I actually lost my virginity at like 16 and like a junior in high school, Which is like considered late for Detroit.
It's so funny. I lied about still being a virgin at 16. Yeah. Because I wasn't proud of the person I lost it to, because it wasn't special. It was just like a friend of mine. And my boyfriend had the same thing where he had been lying about it for such a long time. And when he told me about it, he told me the lie story because he had been telling that one for such a long time. And then eventually he told me the real story. And I was like, wait, you told me the other one? He's like, no, that was the one I used to tell my friends. So insane.
Yeah.
People are just lying both ways.
Funny. Yeah. So that's I think I've been comfortable with group sex for a while, then, And then when we go to these we have these interracial hot wife conventions where it's like 600 couples and maybe like 300-400 black guys who all fly in town for the weekend, and we just all party and fuck. And so you have a lot of gangbangs and orgies. So, being in those settings helped get me a lot more comfortable with like group sex.
Okay. Let me know if this is a weird thing to ask, but it feels like some of this is a bit disrespectful. Like the name bull is they're talking about livestock. You know, like the bull is brought in to like mate with a bunch of cows. And like, does that feel weird? Do you know what I mean?
No, that may be right, because that part, what you just said, as far as like the bull, the mating, that's what I knew of it as.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, even like the term Queen of Spade is like is very derogatory.
Yeah,
right.
Like I'm like, okay, so they're flying out these men. I'm like, groups of black men are being brought from one place to another.
Oh yeah, it's like slavery, right?
It's like I'm like,
yeah.
But you are enjoying yourself, and this like. It's giving
I mean,
like fucking Republicans being like, well, some people had a really nice life.
Right. He's a good old boy. It is like that, you know. And I mean, then when you think about like the more extreme components of like the lifestyle and wife sharing, you have like race play, you know, and that's a fetish or a kink. I don't really, get into that.
Okay.
But and I'm not knocking it at all. It's just, that's another kink that some couples have. And then, but it's all about consent. You have to provide consent as a guy to even allow that. Yeah. So, that's real too, like race play is wild. And it's so crazy because even in that, it's so hush hush, where you can't even say it out loud. A couple is very, if that's their kink, they have to tread so lightly to even find who's available or open to that type of kink. Yeah.
Yeah, so, they'd have to find somebody who's comfortable and likes it in a way that suits them as well.
Yeah.
But you were saying before, like, you will get to know these people psychologically to make sure that you're comfortable and stuff. Are there any like through lines with those couples? Like, is there any consistencies that are like similar that you look for?
There's one thing I definitely look for is if I'm talking a lot to like the husband, like online or whatever, and he's showing me all these pictures of his wife and saying all this stuff he wants me to do to his wife. I'm asking him, does she know that you're talking to me about this? Has she seen my profile? Is she interested in me? Or is this just you trying to, push someone up on your wife, or try to get someone to influence your wife to be, a hot wife or whatever. So I do look for stuff like that, as far as like, how involved is your wife into this? I want to make sure that she has consent, she's consenting, she knows what you're doing, she knows you're sharing these pictures and these videos. Yeah. Like don't tell me you send me a video or a picture. Don't tell me, well, don't tell her that I sent these to you. Yeah. Or I showed you them. Yeah. That's I really don't, I don't like that. So I look for stuff like that,
Is there anything like in their psychological history? Because I'm wondering, like, and I never want to be like, oh, they're gay. Because if they were gay, then they would just fuck you. So like, what is it psychologically that like does it for them?
Well, so that's a good question.
And we've had like a lot of people say that they like to watch, but this is also, it feels like they're not hooking up with other people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some people are not. A lot of people have that voyeurism trait. But I've had conversation with cucks, and one of the things I've heard is like sperm competition. Where it's like
competition.
Yeah, so it's like a wife might get fucked, by me, and then goes home to her husband. And he's so sexually charged now that he's going to try to fuck the shit out of her. Okay. He going to try to fuck her better than I could, even though he can't. But he has that innate feeling within him, like, yo, I'm about to put it down. You
it's
know,
the competitive drive.
Yeah, exactly. So I know people who are like that.
Okay, so let's rewind more to just you before other people came into it. Do you remember your first time coming?
Yeah, I was growing up. I was so interested in sex. You know, like at an extremely young age. Like I remember the first time I saw pussy, I was maybe 10. You know, it was my next door neighbor, and I just remember looking at it like,
In what context?
it's scientific. You know, like
like playing doctor?
no, well, I'm like just looking at it. You know, and I'm
but
like,
how?
Oh, she put her pants down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, we was messing around, all that stuff. And she put her pants down, and I'm like, all I saw was like a line, okay? And I'm like, 1 + 1 is not adding up. I just see a line. What I'm gonna do with that?
Yeah.
And I have like a dick, like it's not going to work, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't know, like, even like the anatomy of the female body. So I didn't know, that it actually opens up, So, I mean, I wanted to be a sexologist growing up, I used to listen to that, the doctor from Canada, Dr. Suzanne or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? She just died, bless her soul.
Oh, R.I.P. Sue.
Yeah.
You would have loved hotwifing.
Yeah. And so I was just so interested in sex, and I didn't know that about masturbation. And then I heard about it from like friends. And so I remember one time I was like watching a movie, and it was like the afternoon time, and I was just like at home by myself, and I just started playing with myself, and like, it started getting harder. I'm like, okay. And I just kept going, and until I came, and I felt, I didn't know how to feel. I was so kind of confused, because it was like my first time. Yeah. Because I think I've been having like wet dreams before.
Yeah.
But that was like my first time masturbating. And I was like, okay, that feels good, but I don't know how I feel about myself.
Sure.
I had like felt like a disgust on me, like, what I just do, And so, that was like my first time coming.
Did you tell your friends who had told you about it?
No, I didn't tell nobody.
Okay.
Yeah, because these people are the same people who think that I've been having sex for 4 or 5 years already. Yeah.
When did you tell people you started having sex?
Oh, we was telling people like 12 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like one of my friends, he said he lost his virginity at 10. So I said, okay, well, me, it was at 12,
Okay. And so you came for the first time after already telling people that you were having sex.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. It had to be maybe not 4 years. It was probably around 14 ish. Yeah, maybe about 14-ish. Yeah.
But you'd been studying ever since you'd seen the line.
Oh yeah, I was studying. I remember having those big old computers, with AOL dial-up, and I'm researching and trying to learn. I'm like all of 11, 12 years old. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so because we talked about getting paid for porn, do they ever pay you to fuck their wives, or is it more like a just dating?
No, now the position I'm in now, if I wanted to offer that type of service, then I can, and get paid well that way. So, I look at it as a job.
Okay.
There's a difference between, like, for me, a job, if I'm, doing a job, or if I'm on like a play date, so I kind of keep those separately.
Both.
Yeah, I'm open to that situation, if it's right. But it definitely helps having that porn background where it's like, I'm just not like a guy on the corner, right? So
yeah,
that does definitely.
You're comfortable
help.
Giving a day rate.
Yes, exactly.
And a night rate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. weekend, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm comfortable with that now.
And the type of porn you do, is it all types? Is it group stuff? Is it one-on-one? Is it cuckolding? Is it?
It's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I haven't been able to do any cuckolding porn, like real cuckolding porn, where it's like you have a husband there. One day I hope to be able to like cast a husband or a guy willing to play a husband. That's something I definitely want to do. But yeah, most of my content is like interracial, regular boy, girl, girl, boy, girl. That means like, essentially a woman is getting like spit roasted by two guys, or whatever. Then orgies and reverse gangbangs, blow bangs.
Reverse gangbang?
Yeah, that means like the guy is getting fucked by girls.
Oh, okay. I was like, everyone's backwards. But kind of. That's fun. Do you have a favorite type that you like to do?
I enjoy boy, girl, girls, like threesomes, two-girl threesomes. I enjoy that the most. I do a fair amount of those. I don't know, I think I'm good at that because it's not easy having a threesome. Man, a lot of guys think that, oh shit, I want to have a threesome. I want to have a threesome, and always trying to get their girl to want to do a threesome if they haven't done one before.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like you may not want that for your life.
You don't know how to spin plates.
Oh my God. It's like DJ and stuff.
Pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You have to multitask. One hand can't be like idle, And so fortunately I've been able to get just, good experience and being comfortable with it, and I enjoy it. But it's not easy. It's work.
Yeah.
And it's hard work.
But it's fulfilling afterwards because you're like, look what I did.
Yeah, and it looks good, especially if you're casting, two women who complement each other well in both physicality as well as energy. So that's always good as well.
Do you ever watch your own porn?
That's the only porn I do watch.
Like
I don't watch much porn. Some girls will ask me to put it on while I fuck them. Yeah.
And then will you jack off to your own porn?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I did it yesterday. I don't jack off often, but and I
when
don't watch porn
it's
often,
to me.
But it's to me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a friend who writes music, and he did a marathon. I was like, "What kind of music do you listen to?" He's like, "Mine."
Hell yeah. And that's kind of how I got into porn. Yeah, I've always wanted to make porn that I would want to see. Because I didn't really watch porn, so it was like the stuff that was out there I really didn't like that much, So I said, well, let me make some shit that I would look at, or the people who like the same type of stuff would look at, or let me make stuff for women, or for couples, because a lot of the porn out here is very male centric.
Totally.
It doesn't really provide, I don't know, maybe aesthetically or emotionally that much fulfillment to women. It's not a lot of pussy. I know women would love getting their pussy ate, but why we don't show it as often in porn? So I try to make sure I incorporate a lot of that, into my stuff, or in sensuality, passion. So I try to include in that all those different elements in my productions.
Cool. And when you date, have you ever had a girlfriend of yours been a hot wife?
No, my girlfriend, we fuck hot wives together. We have in the past fuck hot wives together.
Sick.
I call her a female bull.
Okay.
And so, we've dominated couples together. We've dominated the cucks together. So, we have worked in the past with a unique dynamic, because a lot of people have never seen a couple who were both playing a bull role.
Yeah. How does that work when you're just alone, the two of you?
It's
Are you both bulls in the bedroom?
No, because it's only towards, it's like my sex and like hot wifing. So we don't do a lot of power exchange. That's one thing. It's not a lot of power exchange within our dynamic currently. So it's just like we're just regular people, you know. But with a couple, it's more of a power exchange. And if she's with me and it's a couple, it's a power exchange.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not, even like porn is like different style of having sex. And so the way I have sex with her
too.
Yeah. The way I have sex with her is completely different, you know. Like I may give her the porn star experience every now and then, but it's not that it's not good. It's just not performative.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, I love you.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like faces next to each other, like kissing.
Yeah.
Like, give me your breath.
Is she an adult actress too, or
no? Okay. She's not. She works in corporate Americas.
Cool.
Yeah.
Look at you guys.
Yeah, I try to keep her away from all this as much as possible.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because it's because the more known I have become, it's become challenging because more people have been noticing me, but they know that we're together. And so people that she may work with know that, her boyfriend's a porn star, you know, or because I've been in things that went viral and stuff like that. So now everybody knows pretty much, you know. Yeah. And so I was just hoping that people in my corporate America job that I had didn't find out, you know, or didn't see me and stuff like that. So, yeah.
You understand the feeling of where she could be coming
from.
Oh
my gosh. Yes. So I try to, you know, keep healthy boundaries, but also overly communicate. Because it requires a lot of trust to like date a performer. You know? So it's like I have to communicate so much, you know.
And is there, besides doing stuff with you, is there any openness on her end, or she's not interested in that?
She's not interested. She has the green light though.
Okay.
But she's not really interested. If there's like a girl, you know, that she wants to date or whatever, she's been to dinner before, you know. But yeah, that's something she's not interested in. And a lot of girls who meet her, you know, whether they're hot wives or whatever, like, oh, girl, like, so can you do this? Can you do that? And it's like, she can do whatever she wants. It's just not what she wants, you know?
Yeah. And that's part of her choice too.
Yeah.
It's just like, she's like, I know you want me as a package deal, but like, I have to go to sleep. I have a really early meeting.
Right. Exactly.
So, when it comes to hot wives, do you have to be married to be a hot wife, or can you just be in a relationship?
You can have a hot wife dynamic without being married. I know long-term partners who are not legally married, but they're partners. You know, they live together, they dated for years, and just don't have that, you know, sheet of paper. You know, so they experience the hot wife lifestyle. So in that regard, I don't think you need to be married, but you do need to have that love, that commitment to that person, because it's a journey, and it's something that can't be explored in a week, you know, or a month. It's something that takes years to really fine tune and get comfortable with, you know, like any relationship.
Would you say it's more the wives seeking it out or the husbands?
I would say towards me, it's about 50-50, I want to say, towards me. But as far as who wants the hot wife lifestyle, I would say initially it's the husband that wants it, that tries to encourage, influence, or introduce the wife to the hot wife style. He'll let his needs be known, like, hey, this is something that I'm curious about. Would you be okay with exploring that with me? So that's typically how some husbands might start that type of conversation with their wife.
Which is really interesting, because I feel like a lot of people think of a cuck as someone whose wife just decided on her own to go out and like humiliate them. And it's like, oh no, it seems like it's coming from this guy's desires.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. And even if he's not a cuck, it's the stags are the same way, you know, like some guys really get off on sharing their wife, like, and they feel proud, a sense of like proud.
Yeah, it's like a trophy wife.
Exactly. Like, oh yeah, she's taking that date good. You know, she's made for BBC.
The news channel? No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? Yeah. So, but as far as me, I think it's about 50-50 that approach me, you know, on the different sites, the husband or the wife. Yeah.
Is there a hot husband lifestyle? There must be, right?
Like I know cut queening is the practice of the wife enjoying the husband's infidelity. So she may get off on watching him fuck other women. I don't know many cut queens.
Okay.
I think I may ran across like one who proclaimed herself as like a cut queen. I do know a lot of women who do enjoy they do enjoy watching their husbands fuck or their boyfriends fuck other women. I know.
No, we've had some people who love that. Yeah.
I know a lot of actors, porn actors, they like their boyfriends fucking other girls.
I think it could potentially be more skewed just because of the power dynamics in like normal life, is that men usually hold all the power. So like this kind of feels like subversive or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when there's like more like true equality and like people are all making the same amount of money, there might be way more cut queens.
Right. No, I completely agree. And I feel like they just don't even, there's a lot of women who are like that and just don't know that there's an actual word or a lifestyle for this type of, you know, this kink that you have. So,
no, we had, my friend Abby Chatfield was on and she was saying she loves to watch her boyfriends or partners with other people. And we put out a clip where she said she was giving monogamy a go and it like wasn't working out for her.
Right.
And there were so many comments that were like, well, you should really try harder and you might like it. And she's like, no. And like, don't judge what I like. Cause like I did give it a go and it didn't work out. Yeah. And that's okay too. So I think it's kind of nice to recognize that like there are so many different structures of relationship because like they're not showing the shit in rom-coms.
No, not at all.
So a lot of people, they might not want to enter into a long committed relationship if they're like, sexually, I know that I will need more. And then they associate marriage with like the end of their exploration or their sex lives or whatever. And like, these kind of conversations and this availability like opens the door for it to be like, no, you can be in a committed relationship.
Hell yeah.
And still learn more about yourself.
Yeah, it's like you can create your own relationship. You can create all the elements, whatever you want your relationship to look like. If you find the right person, you can create whatever you want, whatever dynamics that both of you guys feel that allows your relationship to work. You can create that, you know, and you know, people will always have something to say. You know, people talk to my girlfriend all the time, like, yo, so yeah, you're not fucking one, but he gets to do this. He gets to fuck porn stars and hot wives. Why aren't you doing this? Yo, I'm good with how our relationship is. I trust him. We have great communication. We have great sex. Like, I'm good. And so I don't think that people really understand that. It's like, yo, like, let people live the lives that works for them.
Yeah, totally. And it sounds like you guys check in a lot too. Like you're checking in with the people you're hooking up with. You're checking in with her.
If
anything changed, I'm sure structures would change too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, because I've even thought about exploring like the whole poly lifestyle, but it's like, that's a lot more responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, well, do I have time for that? Extra responsibility of having another person to love and care for. It's like maybe no,
Mm-hmm.
maybe no. So it's like you have to really be aware of where you are in your life and what works for you and your dynamic, and you know, um, would this benefit your relationship or would it takes away from your relationship, and
Yeah.
assess it that way.
Yeah. No, and your relationships with other couples or other people you're working with, like the foundation is respect more than love.
Yeah.
What is the percentage of you actually being into the wives? Like, are you into all of these women that you're hotwifing?
Into
Physically.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would say physically 90%, 90 to 95% of the time, because I'm so selective,
Yeah.
I've always, not always, but as I got seasoned in the lifestyle, and my brand within the lifestyle, elevated, I've just been able to be more, picky and selective.
Mm-hmm.
And so about 90 to 95%, I would say that I'm like into.
And then that final 10%, you're enjoying more like the act of it, the performance.
Yeah. The power exchange is what.
Yeah.
You may not be physically my type.
Yeah.
But the fact that I have this power exchange with this dominance over you and your husband, that may work for me. Or it's something like a kinky where it's like you're like someone's grandmother, where it's like, I have this situation where it was just like this grandmother, and she reminds me of like a real grandmother with like the glasses, the little strap, and like pearls. It looked like she'll bake you some fresh cookies and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that shit turned me on for some reason, you know what I'm saying? And so I had to try it, and her husband looked like he was about to die. He was about 80 years old, and that was like, she was a freak too.
Oh, wow.
And she liked it like in the ass and everything. And so I was like, damn, like Grady is a freak.
Mm-hmm.
She was a freak. So like, that's like the 5% where it's like, it's going to be an experience,
Totally.
That I'm going to enjoy. So,
yeah.
So that 5% is designated for the one-off experiences where it's like, yo, this is a story right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before we go, earlier we were talking about how some guys, after you fuck their wives, they kind of get like revved up and want to fuck her better. Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel that after you've gone out and fucked someone? Does it make you want to go home and fuck your girlfriend?
Every fucking time. Like,
amazing.
Like, if I can have an orgy. Okay. Mm-hmm. I can have, just had a threesome with like a couple of girls or whatever. And, my girlfriend's always surprised when I come back home, and it's like, and I'm on top of her, It's like, dude, you just had sex. Like, I thought you'd be tired. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm so sexually charged, especially when I'm shooting porn, because it is performative, and it's not like, I mean, because when you're shooting porn, you're using like half of your dick, because
what?
You want yeah, exactly. So yeah, you want the camera to be able to see the penetration.
Yeah.
So if I'm going all the way in, you can't. I'm covering.
The camera can't get in there.
Shot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like if I done spent 25, 30 minutes of fucking with half my dick,
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I didn't get to kill it like I wanted to. I didn't get to stroke it like I wanted to. I couldn't really make love like I wanted to. And so it's like I have so much of this built up in me. Yeah. Even if I came, I still have that energy within that I need to like just ravish something,
Yeah, you're like, I need to be like literally so close to you.
It's like so close. Yeah. So,
okay.
So she gets it all the time.
Well, just like John Legendary, this episode could go all day, but unfortunately I have to leave. It has been so much fun having you on this podcast. Can you tell everybody where they can find you online,
yes.
find your videos?
You can find me on Twitter at Mr. Legendary XXX. You can find me on Instagram at John Legendary _. You can find me on OnlyFans, John Legendary on there, John Legendary on Pornhub. I got mini-vids, John Legendary, and I just launched my new site, which is like the best site out there, and it is legendaryx.com. It's very tasteful, aesthetically pleasing content with some of the most attractive women, and then yours truly, me.
Amazing. I just have to ask you one more question before we go. I have to ask everyone after a sexual experience, and this experience has been quite sexual. Oh. John Legendary, did you finish?
I did.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, my pleasure. I can come anytime.
Guys, thank you so much for coming too. If you have any questions or any comments on this or any other episode, DM us at How Come Podcast. Follow us. Follow me at Remy Casimir. If you have a first time coming story that you want to share, send it to us, or you can post it anonymously on howcomepodcast.com. We have a whole map where people just post as much or as little information about their first success stories from the podcast. And if you want to see this, we have it unedited with video on patreon.com/howcome. That's where you can get all of your episodes early. And if you're not interested in that, just rate, review, and subscribe. It helps us so much, and we love it. So we'll see you next time on How Come. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help, 'cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
Hi. Okay, so literally, if you have any other questions, please write them in, because I have so many other questions for John, and I had to go to a fucking meeting. So yeah, write in. But I was telling someone I know about this episode, and I'm not going to say who because, but I was expecting them to be so shocked. And they were like, oh yeah, no, I know someone who did that. And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, yeah, like it's like an older guy that back in the day, this married couple asked him to fuck the wife. And he did it for a while. And then eventually he didn't want to do it anymore. And the husband got mad. And I was like, oh my God, like that's crazy. Like I wish I had asked John if that's ever happened and like how you deal with that. But in that conversation, I like wasn't understanding what the person was saying. And I was like, can you put this in context that I will understand? And they were like, okay, so in the world of Sex in the City, Aiden and Carrie are together, and Aiden asks Steve to have sex with Carrie, and Steve's like, okay. And then Steve and Carrie have sex in front of Aiden for a while. And in this story, apparently Steve was like, I'll do it, but like, don't touch me, Aiden. And Aiden was like, yeah, that's not part of this, which we've heard about on the episode. A lot of people will think it's just trying to have a threesome. No, it's a whole other thing psychologically and sexually. But so Steve and Carrie are having sex like a few times. Like it's like going on for like months. And then eventually Steve's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then Aiden gets pissed. And then I was like, oh, okay, I understand. And I was like, and who told you the story? And they're like, Steve. And I was like, okay. So this is my new favorite way to tell stories about people that you don't want to expose who they are. And the other night I was watching Vanderpump Rules, and my dad comes in, as he does, and he pretends he's not watching it, but he loves it. And he's like, why are they all mad? And in Vanderpump world, it's like people are mad because Sheena and Tom Schwartz hooked up when Tom Schwartz was still with Katie. And Brock, Sheena's husband, is defending Sheena to Katie. And I was like, Dad, okay, imagine Bob and Joanne. They're married. They're still married. You and Mom used to be married, but you're not anymore. When you were still married, you hooked up with Joanne. And he was like, I hooked up with Joanne. Ew. And I was like, yes, you hooked up with Joanne. And now Mom's mad, reasonably, but Bob is defending Joanne because he needs Joanne's money. And he was like, oh. Obviously, Bob and Joanne's names have been changed, but I likened it to people in his life, and it made him like, so he's like, oh my God, that's crazy. And then another fight happened where it was like, and Max hooked up with Katie after her and Schwartz had already broken up like years after. And he's like, why is everyone mad now? I was like, okay, so Mom hooked up with Dave, but like you've already been broken up. And he's like, who cares? And I was like, exactly. Anyway, when explaining Vanderpump Rules to your parents, use your family friends. It is the funniest shit because then you start like picturing everyone doing these things. And like, my dad is so upset that he hooked up with Joanne, and it's so stupid. This is probably a stupid Marvel section, but I enjoyed it and I'm keeping it in. All right. Bye, guys.